Disclaimer. This story is a dramatized true crime narrative created for informational and entertainment purposes. While it is inspired by real investigative formats, the characters, events, and details in this account are entirely fictional. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or deceased, or to real events is purely coincidental. The content is not intended to accuse, defame, or cause harm to any individual or group. All depictions of crime are fictionalized and should not be interpreted as factual accounts. This is the murder case that shocked Hollywood, not because of who died, but because of how the killer was caught, and the bizarre way the jury decided guilt. Robin Kaye, former American Idol staffer. Her husband, Thomas DeLuca, a wealthy real estate broker. Both found shot dead inside their $3 million Hollywood Hills mansion. But here's the thing, they weren't found for 4 days. And when they were, the suspect was already living in their house. July 18th, 2023. Neighbors noticed something strange. The Kaye DeLuca mansion is quiet. Too quiet. No cars leaving. No packages collected. And a faint smell. Police knock. No answer. They peek through the side window. Freeze. 2 bodies on the living room floor, both with gunshot wounds to the head. But here's the first weird thing. The AC was blasting. Lights on, and someone had been eating their food recently. The coroner says they've been dead for at least 4 days. So who's been inside? Security cameras? Disabled. Door locks? Reset. Almost like someone had moved in after the murders. Detectives comb the house. Upstairs bedroom. Fresh sheets. Unfamiliar clothes in the closet. A half-packed duffel bag. And then, a phone. Not Robin's. Not Thomas's. A cracked Samsung with a background photo of a man they don't recognize. The phone leads to 34-year-old Marcus Trent. No connection to the couple. No reason to be there. Except, 1 week earlier, Marcus had been arrested for trespassing 2 streets away. When cops track him down, he's in a diner, eating pancakes, like nothing's wrong. They ask if he knows Robin or Thomas. He says who? They tell him they found his phone in their house. He shrugs. I must have dropped it. Here's where it's rare, almost unheard of, and it carries decades in prison. But here's where it gets even stranger. If Marcus didn't kill them, who did? Why were the cameras disabled? Why were there no signs of forced entry? And why did the couple's phones disappear? But their jewelry and cash were left untouched. The last confirmed sighting of Robin and Thomas was at a charity gala. Smiling, laughing, no signs of trouble. Hours later, they were dead and buried in Marcus's journal. A single line written in code. Detectives can't crack it, but it might explain everything. Marcus is behind bars, But detectives now believe someone else was in that house during those missing 4 days. And a new witness, a delivery driver, says he saw a woman leaving the mansion at 3 a.m. the day before the bodies were found. We'll find out. Who was she? Why was she there? And what does she know about the murders of Robin Kaye and Thomas DeLuca? Marcus Trent was already locked up for tampering with a homicide investigation. But detectives now believed the real killer could still be out there. The driver's dash cam shows her. Tall, dark hair, baseball cap, carrying a duffel bag. But here's the thing. She wasn't leaving in a hurry. No running. No panique. Just calm, like she belonged there. The car she got into? Registered to someone who shouldn't even be alive. The plates came back to a man named Daniel Cross. Problem? Daniel had been declared dead 3 years ago. Cause of death? Suicide. Or, that's what the report said. Detectives start digging. Turns out Daniel Cross was Robin Kaye's ex-boyfriend. They dated for 2 years before she met Thomas. Breakup? Ugly. Restraining orders. Accusations of stalking. And now, his car is caught on camera at her home. Detectives get a warrant for Daniel's old storage unit. Inside, boxes of photographs of Robin. Private moments. Vacations she didn't post online. One photo chills them. It's Robin and Thomas, smiling on their wedding day. But someone had scratched Thomas's face out with a knife. The coroner rechecks the bodies. The original ruling? Gunshot wounds to the head. But under Robin's fingernails, fibers from a black wool sweater. Thomas's body? Tiny glass shards in his hair. Those shards match the broken vase found upstairs. A vase Marcus Trent never touched. It's like the scene was staged. A former neighbor comes forward. Says she saw Robin arguing with a man outside the mansion 2 nights before she died. She's sure it wasn't Thomas. Police show her a photo lineup. She points instantly. That's him, Daniel Cross. But here's the problem. Daniel Cross is still officially dead. If he's alive, someone forged his death. And the signature on his death certificate belongs to a county coroner who resigned last year after a fraud investigation. Meaning, Daniel's death might have been faked. Remember Marcus Trent's journal? The one that said, "Finally home," and had a coded line? A forensic linguist cracks it. The code reads, "She said he's coming back." Who's he? Marcus refuses to talk. But in a chilling twist, his lawyer says Marcus believed the mansion was promised to him by a woman named Clara. Clara is a fake name. Detectives track the number Marcus had for her. It belongs to a burner phone. Last ping, same cell tower near the DeLuca mansion at 3:12 a.m. The same night the mystery woman was seen on dashcam. Detectives follow the lead to a cheap motel on the outskirts of LA. Room 207. Inside, it's empty. But on the bed, a baseball cap, a black wool sweater. DNA on the sweater matches Robin Kaye, meaning the mystery woman was Robin. But that's impossible, right? Robin was already dead for 4 days when the bodies were found. Except, what if she wasn't? Forensics rerun the time of death estimates. The conclusion? Robin might have been alive for at least 48 hours after Thomas was killed. Which means someone kept her inside that house. Then she escaped. And then she vanished. Detectives get a call from an unlisted number. A man's voice says, "You're looking for the wrong person." Click. Caller ID. Registered to Daniel Cross. When police rush to track Daniel, they find his abandoned car in an alley. In the trunk, a second duffel bag. Inside, a bloodstained gun, and Robin Kaye's missing cell phone. The last video on her phone, shot in the dark. Whispering, Robin's voice. "He knows where I am. I can't get out. If you find this." The video cuts off. Now detectives know Robin survived the first attack. They know Daniel Cross might still be alive. And they know Marcus Trent may have been set up. But here's the most chilling part. The video metadata shows it was recorded 1 day after Marcus Trent was arrested. Meaning, Robin Kaye was still alive, while the world believed she was already dead. So, who killed her? Where was she hiding? And why does the last location ping from her phone point directly to the home of a retired LAPD detective? And not just any detective, the one who signed off on Daniel Cross's original suicide report. His name? Frank Mallory, 62, decorated, respected, but with a reputation for bending the rules. Detectives show up at his door. Frank answers in a pressed polo shirt, calm smile. "Come in, officers," like he's expecting them. In Frank's living room, a framed photo on the wall. Him, Robin Kaye, Daniel Cross. It's from 10 years ago. They're laughing at a backyard barbecue. Frank says they were friends of the family, but the current detectives never knew Robin had ties to him. They serve a warrant. Inside Frank's garage, a locked metal storage cabinet. He insists it's old police records. When they pry it open, a black wool sweater. Fibers match the ones found under Robin's fingernails. And under that sweater, a small, blood-stained blanket, the kind you'd wrap around someone to keep them warm. In Frank's office, they find a floor safe. Inside, a burner phone. Call logs show repeated contact with Daniel Cross. After the date, Daniel was dead. Even more chilling, the last call was made the day Robin's final video was recorded. Frank's next-door neighbor says she saw something strange. Late at night, a woman, matching Robin's description, standing in Frank's backyard, barefoot, crying. When the neighbor tried to approach, Frank stepped outside, told her, "Go back inside." Family matter. A forensic team recovers partial prints from the burner phone. They're not Frank's. They're Robin Kaye's, meaning Robin was alive and in Frank's home, at least for a short time. Detectives piece it together. Daniel Cross fakes his death with Frank's help. Years later, he targets Robin and Thomas. But instead of killing Robin immediately, they keep her alive. Why? Leverage, revenge, or something darker. Frank finally cracks under questioning. Says Robin came to him the night Thomas was shot. She was terrified, said Daniel's back. He hid her in his home for her own safety. But then, one night, she was gone. Security footage from Frank Street shows the black SUV picking up Robin at 2:14 a.m. Driver? Unidentified. Plates come back stolen. GPS data from the SUV leads to a warehouse on the edge of the city, a place Daniel once owned. SWAT moves in. Warehouse is empty, but in the center of the floor, a single folding chair, ropes on the ground, and a camera tripod pointing directly at it. They find fresh footprints. One set matches Daniel Cross. The other? A woman's, barefoot. Behind the chair, a wall of photos. Not just Robin, dozens of other women. Some missing, some dead, pinned in the center. A new photo, Robin Kaye, dated 2 days ago. If the photo is real, it means Robin was still alive less than 48 hours ago. And the kicker? A fresh DNA sample from the scene confirms. She was injured. She's bleeding. And Daniel Cross is still moving her from place to place. Detectives now believe they have less than 72 hours to find her. But the only person who knows where she is refusing to talk, because that person is Marcus Trent, a man they thought was just a witness. Marcus sits in the interview room, hands folded, no expression. He says, "I'll tell you where she is, but you won't like the truth." Detectives lean in. Marcus smirks. "You think Daniel's in control?" He's not. Marcus claims Robin wasn't kidnapped. She went willingly, not with Daniel, but with someone else. Someone inside the current investigation. He slides a photo across the table. It's grainy, taken from a distance. Robin, wearing a hoodie, stepping into a sedan. Driving that sedan led Detective Julia Reyes. The precinct explodes into chaos. Julia swears it's not what it looks like. Says she was protecting Robin. That Robin was being hunted by two people, Daniel and Frank. But when they check her phone, they find encrypted messages to a burner number. That belongs to Daniel Cross. They suspend Julia on the spot, but she refuses to give up Robin's location. Instead, she whispers, "If you move too soon, you'll get her killed." They don't know if it's a warning or a threat. They trace Julia's car GPS. Last ping, a cabin deep in the Angeles National Forest. SWAT moves in. Cabin's empty. Inside, fresh food, 2 mugs still warm, and a bloodstained scarf. That matches Robin's DNA. While searching the cabin, they find a hidden wildlife camera outside. It's motion activated. The last clip shows Robin sitting on the porch, looking scared. Then, a shadow falls over her. She looks up. The figure steps into view. It's not Daniel. It's Marcus Trent. Marcus wasn't just a witness. He's the middleman, the one moving Robin between locations, the one keeping both Daniel and the police guessing. And now, Marcus is gone, his car abandoned 2 miles from the cabin, tracks leading off into the woods. K9 units follow the trail. It leads to an old service tunnel under the forest. Inside, a camping lantern still glowing. A backpack with Robin's necklace inside. But no Robin, no Marcus. Then, over the radio, an officer yells, "We got a body." Everyone freezes. The body is male. Gunshot wound to the chest. It's Marcus Trent. In his pocket, a burner phone. One unread text. Sent an hour before he died. Deliver her to the docks at midnight, or it's over. The clock is down to 10 hours. And now the investigation has shifted to the city's old shipping yards. And the only lead, a cryptic text. Deliver her to the docks at midnight, or it's over. It's pouring rain. The shipping yard is a maze of steel containers and echoing shadows. Every creak of metal feels like a gun cocking. Detectives know, if Robin's here, they're walking into a trap. SWAT fans out. Thermal drones scan the area. Nothing. Then, a faint heat signature inside a container near the pier's edge. They cut the lock. Inside, Robin, hood over her head, hand-bound, shivering. But before they can reach her, a spotlight floods the pier. A deep voice booms from the darkness. Step away from her now. A tall figure emerges. Black trench coat, gloved hands, and in one of them, a silenced pistol. He removes his hood. It's Frank Holloway, the retired LAPD detective. Frank says he's been protecting Robin. From Daniel. From Marcus. From everyone. But Robin shakes her head violently. Through the gag, she's screaming something. They remove it. Her first words, "Don't listen to him. He's the one who shot Thomas." Frank laughs. Says Thomas's death was necessary. That Robin was next. Until she agreed to help him clean up the mess. The mess? A blackmail ring inside LAPD, where Thomas was a willing participant. Frank offers a trade, the truth about the murders, for safe passage out of the city. But before anyone can respond, a sniper round cracks through the rain. Frank goes down, shouts over the radio, "Shooter on the crane." Bullets ricochet off containers. Officers dive for cover. Robin screaming. A shadow moves across the crane. When SWAT gets there, the sniper's gone. All that's left, a single shell casing, and a note tucked inside Frank's coat. "Next time I won't miss." Robin is safe. For now. But Daniel Cross is still missing. And the note's handwriting matches the lead detective, Julia Reyes. Which means the most dangerous player in this game is still inside the investigation. Robin Kaye has been rescued. But the sniper's note found on Frank Holloway's body matches the handwriting of lead detective Julia Reyes. If that's true, the killer isn't outside the investigation. They are the investigation. Robin's in protective custody. Julia herself demands to be the one guarding her. Captain Miller objects, but Julia pulls rank. "She trusts me," Julia says, and Robin reluctantly agrees. But on the drive to the safe house, Robin sees it, a folded piece of paper in Julia's cup holder. Same paper, same handwriting. 2 words, loose ends. Robin's pulse spikes. Julia is silent, eyes fixed on the road. Her hand hovers over the glove box. Robin knows. That's where Julia keeps her service weapon. A red light. Rain pounding the windshield. Robin makes her move. Unbuckles, slams the door, runs. Julia shouts after her. But Robin vanishes into a crowded street market. Meanwhile, Captain Miller orders an internal review. Only one officer has accessed all the case evidence, surveillance footage, and financial records. It's Julia. And worse, her bank account shows deposits linked to offshore accounts tied to Marcus Trent. Robin calls Miller from payphone. Breathless. "I have proof," she says. "I saw the note. Julia is coming for me." Miller sets a meeting point. An abandoned subway station. Unmarked cars will be waiting. But when Robin gets there, the platform is empty. Just one figure standing in the shadows. Julia. Julia steps forward. Says Miller's dead. Says she's the only one who can keep Robin alive now. Robin asks why she killed Thomas. Julia's answer? He was going to tell you the truth about who you really are. Julia drops it like a bomb. Your father is Frank Holloway. Robin freezes. Julia smirks. And that means you're part of this, whether you like it or not. Julia reaches into her coat. Robin backs toward the tracks. A train is approaching, fast, just as Julia pulls something out. It's not a gun. It's a black envelope. She tosses it to Robin. Inside, photos of Robin from when she was a child, standing next to Frank. In Marcus Trent. Julia whispers, "You've been in this since day one. And now, it's your turn to choose a side." The train roars past. When Robin looks up, Julia is gone. And in the distance, Daniel Cross is watching from the opposite platform. Robin now knows the truth. Her father, Frank Holloway. Her life, intertwined with Marcus Trent and Julia Reyes from the start. But the game isn't over. The killers are still free. And Robin has decided she's not running anymore. It's been 2 days since Julia vanished at the subway. Robin goes straight to the one person who might still be clean. FBI Special Agent Carter. Carter listens, eyes narrowing. He's been quietly investigating LAPD corruption for years. And Julia? She's the last piece of his puzzle. Together, Robin and Carter plan a sting. Robin will agree to meet Julia, pretending she's ready to choose a side. The location? The same Hollywood Hills mansion where it all began. Julia's ego won't be able to resist. Night falls. Robin waits in the dimly lit living room. Wedding photos still hang on the wall, but now they feel like ghosts watching. Julia walks in, flanked by Marcus Trent. She smirks. Ready to come home? Robin nods, and then flips the switch. Every window bursts with light. FBI, SWAT, unmarked police. Flooding in. Marcus goes for his gun. Carter takes him down. Julia freezes. Robin steps forward. You killed Thomas because you couldn't control him. You almost killed me because I wasn't yours to keep. Julia tries to speak, but the cuffs click shut. Over the next weeks, the web unravels. Julia had been secretly on Marcus's payroll for years, helping him run a multi-million-dollar real estate scam. Frank Holloway, Robin's father, was once Marcus's partner. When Frank tried to quit, Marcus had him killed and framed it as a gang hit. Thomas discovered the truth, and that sealed his fate. With Julia and Marcus behind bars, Robin finally buries Thomas in a quiet ceremony overlooking the ocean. No cameras, no headlines, just the sound of the waves. She decides not to hide anymore. She returns to work, this time producing her own music charity for at-risk youth. And on the day the verdict comes in, guilty on all counts, Robin walks out of the courthouse into the sunlight. For the first time in months, she can breathe. Her story became one of the most watched true crime cases in the country. But for Robin, it's not about the fame. It's about the fact that Thomas's name will never be forgotten.